Hello, Lobo learners. Welcome back. I hope you had a great summer. This is Misty, and I just wanted to remind you of a couple of big things in Canvas. The first thing is about cross-listing, the second is about grade passback, and the third thing is about accessibility checker. So let's start with cross-listing. You guys know that I recommend you cross-list, especially if you teach the same class multiple times a day. It basically lets you put all of your like sections together so that you only have to post one time. Sometimes, if you have an elective course or something like that, you might have multiple grade levels, so freshmen and sophomores in one class, and Focus makes sections for each of them. What I recommend, especially in those cases, is that you cross list again because those students are getting the same work, so you may as well put them into the same class. So, in case you don't remember how to cross list, let's walk through those steps. So you go to the class you want to move. So up here, I'm going to got my first period demo class and my second period demo class. I want to move those into my sandbox. So I open up the course I want to move. All right. Then I go to settings, then to sections. I click on the name of the class, and then I say cross list this section. So there are two ways you can do this. You can search by name. Okay, cross list this section. It now lives in here. The other way you can do it is to get the course ID number of the master course, so your first period course, for example. So then I'm going to go into my second period class, and just to go through all the steps again. Okay, I'm going to go into my second period class. I'm going to move it into my sandbox. I'm going to click settings, sections, the name of the class, cross list this section, and this time I'm going to paste in the ID number. And there it is. And I'm going to say cross list this section. All right. So now when I go into my sandbox, if I go to settings and I go to sections, you can now see there's my first period and there's my second period, all living inside my sandbox class. All right. So that's cross listing. And don't worry, if you accidentally cross list backwards or you move something somewhere you don't want it, I can always undo. Just reach out to me and I'm happy to help. The second thing is grade passback. So one of the things that you've got to do is you've got to actually open up Focus. So you need to go into Focus and actually open up your Focus gradebook. So for each of your classes, go to Focus and click on the gradebook so that it kind of wakes it up, activates it. The next thing is within Canvas, you'll go to assignments. And then you need to make sure that you have a formative group and a summative group. So you can see that I don't have summative. So what I need to do is I need to add a group, and I'm going to call that summative. And I'm going to say that that is 40%. Save. All right, so now you can see that there's summative and there's formative. So now whenever I'm making my assignments, I have to make sure I tag them with these. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do while I'm here, so I'm still in assignments, I hit group. I made one for formative. I made one for summative. I'm going to come right here to these triple dots, and I'm going to click Sync Sys Categories. Now, I can't really do that because I don't actually have a class, but you're going to say Sync Sys Categories. It might also say Sync Sections. If it says Sync Sections, go ahead and click that as well. Okay, whatever you have here, whether it's categories or sections, make sure you click that. You only have to do that once, okay? All right, so now I'm going to go into my module, and I'm going to go to this assignment that I already have made, and I'm going to make sure that it has all the parameters it needs to be part of, to follow grade passback. So it has to have a title, it has to have points, the assignment group has to be set to either formative or summative, it has to have the Sync to Focus button clicked, so this button has to be checked. It has to be assigned to, and I'm just going to say to everyone, and it has to have a due date. So again, it has to have a title, it has to have points, the assignment group has to be formative or summative because those are the categories that are in Focus. It has to have the Sync to Focus box checked, it has to be assigned to everyone, and it has to have a due date. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Once you've graded the assignment, then you'll be able to go into grades, and you'll have an option up here that says Sync emphasis, and that will then pass your grades over to the gradebook. If you need to check for errors, over here on the sidebar menu, you'll have GradeSync, and it will show you, and you can see I don't have anything, but it'll show you your history, and if there's an error, you'll get a little red exclamation mark, okay? If you ever get stuck, please let me know if you need more help. The Canvas guide also has these instructions, and there's also a video on my playlist, but I hope that you having this on hand will help. The last thing is accessibility. Canvas now has an accessibility checker that will let you check the accessibility of your course. Okay, so you can see here I have some issues, and it's going to show me what those issues are. This is really great to make sure that you're in compliance with ADA and making sure that your course is accessible to all of your students. So clearly I have things that I need to go in and fix. All right, so I can click on fix, and it's going to show me what my issues are. So like in this case, I don't have a table caption, so I could just add that caption and say, okay, and say add caption. It's going to add it right up there, and I'm going to say save it next, and it's going to just take me through any of the issues that I have in here. Okay, so like right here, the alt text, it just says 1-3, so I'm going to change that to outcomes and apply. So again, it'll prompt you through what all you need to fix, and as it does that, you can see the numbers going down up here on my issues. I recommend that you take a look at this. I'm not saying you have to fix it right now, but it's good to be aware of what the issues are, especially if they are major things like text contrast, because we want it to be as accessible for all of our students as possible. So that's it. I know this was a longer video than I normally send you at the start of the year, but I did want to highlight these 3 things. So again, this video covers cross-listing, grade passback, and the accessibility checker within your courses. If you have any Canvas questions at all, please reach out to me. I'm here to help you. I hope you have a great year.